Trump's presidential panhandling has gotten so bad that campaign finance experts believe he's actually pushing legal boundaries by soliciting bribes from his billionaire donors. Now, as the Washington Post reports, as Trump closed his pitch at the Pierre Hotel, he explained to the group of donors why it was in their interest to cut large checks. If he was not put back in office, taxes would go up for them under President Biden, who vows to let Trump-era tax cuts on the wealthy and corporations expire at the end of 2025. And here's a direct statement from Trump. Here's what he said, according to the Post. The tax cuts all expire for wealthy and poor and middle income and everything else, but they expire in another 7 months, and he's not going to renew them, which means taxes are going to go up by 4 times, Trump said, exaggerating the size of the cuts. You're going to have the biggest tax increase in history. So in other words, give me more money, and in return, I will make those tax cuts for the rich permanent. And look, Trump begs for money from billionaires like none other. Trump sometimes makes requests higher than his team expects to receive, sometimes surprising his own advisors because he is asking for so much money. This is the guy who claimed that he was going to drain the swamp. The guy who said he had a problem with legalized bribery and corruption in the executive branch. Except he's one of the biggest swamp monsters when it comes to corruption.
Yeah. Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you. Look, why does the establishment hate Donald Trump? Because he's gonna break up this corruption? No, they hate him because in the corruption, you're supposed to serve the donors. The donors own the entire system. And Trump is saying, well, I'll do that, but I'll also personally be corrupt, and I'll take a lot of the money, and I'll funnel it to my properties and do all these different things, and Jared will get a $2 billion deal from the Saudis. And the establishment's like, no, you're only supposed to do systemic corruption, not over-the-top personal corruption. All the money comes to me, okay? Either way, it's massive over-the-top corruption. So look at Donald Trump. That's the problem with Donald Trump, is that he can't help saying what's in his head. So he goes to the donors. Earlier, it was the oil companies. He had oil executives over, and he told them, not only will I give you guys tax cuts, I'll deregulate. And I'll let you run wild, drill anywhere you want, violate any standards you want. So it's not out in public, they say the deregulation is for freedom. Behind the scenes to the donors, they go, yeah, give me millions of dollars, and I'll let you make billions of dollars by poisoning communities. What do I care? They're just stupid American citizens. They haven't bribed me at all. Okay, you guys can bribe me $1 million, $2 million. Now Trump is asking these donors in this last meeting, $25 million for lunch.
No, it's insane. Okay, so
that's literal.
Again, the begging for additional money is kind of amazing, and it goes beyond what typical politicians do, right? Typical politicians, yes, they're all soliciting donations. But the way Trump does it is kind of hilarious. So the Washington Post highlighted an incident in which Trump told a businessman who normally donates between $2 to $3 million that that's not enough money. Trump wants more. So he demanded $25 to $50 million instead from the same businessman.
Yeah, and he said for lunch, my advisors are saying I should charge $1 million. He's like, no, I want to charge 25 million. But hold on, before you judge too harshly, there is one part of this that Trump is being rational about. He is telling these donors, and again, since he has verbal diarrhea, he just says it. He says, well, I'm gonna make you guys tax cuts that are worth billions of dollars. Remember, that all comes from us, because we have to pay extra taxes, extra fees, extra everything, right? And they're talking about cutting Social Security and we never get universal health care. It all comes from us. He's like, I'll just take the American taxpayer, those suckers and losers, and I'll give their billions of dollars to you guys. And then you give me 25 million, that's a bargain. He's not really wrong about that. That's why he in one dinner alone, it turns out it's true, he raised over $50 million in one fundraising deal in Florida, in dinner. And so he's just being more brazen about what politicians normally do. Politicians normally go, well, because the freedom that deregulation brings and all the drilling that is gonna make America energy independent. I would love to get your campaign contributions. That's just a sophisticated way of saying the same thing Trump is saying.
No, you're exactly right, Cenk. You're exactly right. In fact, I want to give you guys the numbers because Biden has outraised Donald Trump, even with Trump, demanding these massive donations from his billionaire donors. So as the Post reports, the Trump campaign and RNC reported that they jointly raised $76 million in April alone. About 25 million more than the Biden campaign said it raised across all of its committees in the same month.
So Trump finally took the lead that month.
Just that month though,
yeah.
Because when you look at cash on hand for both campaigns, Biden is still beating Trump and it ain't from small dollar donors. So Biden still had around $60 million more with cash on hand compared to Trump.
Yeah, and in mainstream press always brags about that, like, oh, Biden's done a great job of raising money. And then when Trump goes and does these, they go, can you believe he's raising money by promising things to donors? Are you serious? You're humiliating yourself. Every politician is a low-level prostitute who goes around telling donors they'll do anything they want. So now Trump is a high-level prostitute, and if you're MAGA and you think he doesn't do corruption, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. So guys, think about this giant gift that Biden gives to Trump. Trump has taken $100 million from Sheldon Adelson twice. He's now passed away, but in 2016 and 2020, he took $100 million through his PACs, both times. Now he's begging Miriam Adelson for that kind of money, Sheldon's widow, right? Now, why doesn't Biden beat him up over that? You know what he gave Sheldon Adelson? He moved the embassy for him in Israel. He ended internet gambling online because Sheldon has casinos in Vegas that he wanted to force people to go to in person, right? He ended a corruption case that Sheldon Adelson had about bribery he did in China. And I can go on, and all of it is in my book, Justice is Coming. How come Biden never talks about that over-the-top corruption? It would actually hurt Donald Trump's populist credentials more than anything else would. Because Biden is also massively corrupt.
Yeah, he's chasing that paper too.
Yeah, and he's so corrupt, he doesn't want you to know about the corruption at all, even if it would hurt Donald Trump. But now they're desperate, so they're like, oh, can you believe what he said to donors? I can't believe he's promising the oil companies that out loud. Okay.
No, it is incredible. And look, the final thing that I'll say is, I know that you want to give Jamie Raskin credit for wanting to investigate Trump's solicitations for these bribes. That investigation will go nowhere because the fact of the matter is, as you've been talking about in this story, Cenk, the corruption is not a partisan issue. The corruption happens across the board with all these politicians. Now, to be fair, Larry Noble, who is a campaign finance lawyer, says that Trump was technically allowed to ask only for contributions of $3,300 or less for his campaign, according to federal laws. But he can appear at events for his super PAC where the price of admission is far higher, as long as he doesn't ask for money directly. He can't say, quote, I want you to give me $1 million, Noble said.
Although it seems like he does.
He does.
He doesn't care about the laws or the rules at all.
And
he's like, what are you gonna bring me to court again?
I just don't think that investigation is gonna go anywhere.
Yeah, look, I appreciate that Jamie Raskin, who's actually a clean politician, doesn't take corporate PAC money, is actually trying to hold any standards up in our vanishing democracy, right? But his number one problem is that he's gonna run into his own party, and his own party's gonna be like, are you nuts, Jamie? We all take bribes. Why? We're not gonna investigate Trump for taking bribes. We take the same exact bribes, maybe not as big as him, and we don't admit it like a schmuck in public. But no, your investigation is gonna go nowhere. It's never gonna make it out of the Democratic Party, let alone, and of course the Republicans are nearly 100% corrupt. So they love this system of bribery, and Trump loves it the most. He's like, what am I, a sucker? No, I'm not gonna use my own money even though I pretend to be a billionaire. I'm gonna tell all these guys, give me all the money, and then I'll just use the taxpayer money to pay you off 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. And in fact, that's why one of the largest private equity companies founder, and I believe he's the founder, but he runs it now, Steven Schwartzman, said, yeah, I'm gonna give a ton of money to Donald Trump. And now all of Wall Street is going, okay, he's gonna give us tax cuts. Who cares about democracy burning down? Do we really need democracy anyway? So, and look, this part I don't know. The Steven Schwartzman part is 100% public, Axios covered it, etc. My speculation is that part of what the donors asked for is, you're gonna pick one of our people for your VP. Nikki Haley, Tom Cotton, or Elise Stefanik. So we know those are in our pocket 100%, and at least we got that kind of insurance. We'll see, I don't know, you'll see if that speculation is right later. But anyway, private equity is turned, and the reason why the Democrats aren't going nuts about that is because they were begging those same guys for bribes a minute ago.
Yes.
And now that they made up their mind to go support Trump instead of Biden, they can't turn around and be like, I can't believe how corrupt this is. You were begging the same Steven Schwartzman for money yesterday. So this system is sick. So as you see this cancerous lesion of Donald Trump, understand that that's terrible, but the underlying disease is money in politics, which allows rampant bribery of all of our politicians.
100%, yeah, the political prostitution is real. It's just, in this case, the billionaires pay the political prostitutes to F us. And we didn't ask for it.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.